You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's $1 Million Listing After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's $1 Million Listing After Show.
Welcome to Miami. Hey everybody, welcome to our show. We're doing $1 Million Listing Miami here. I'm your host, Jenifer Golden, joined by my lovely co-host,
Alex Wehrley.
Welcome,
excited
Alex.
to be here. This is my first timer here.
Welcome to AFTERBUZZ. I'm happy that you're on this show with me as your first show.
And this is perfect because you're from Miami.
I am.
So you probably are going to love this season a little bit extra, right?
I think I might, because as we were watching, I don't know if you saw me, I was like, oh.
Yeah. I know him. I know that spot.
Yeah.
I was getting very nostalgic, weren't you?
Yeah, it was weird because I claim Miami because I'm from there, but I'm never like, oh, I miss home. Because LA's kind of similar in the sense that we've
I could see
the
that.
sunshine, we've got beaches, got a little flash here and there.
Yeah.
You know, Miami has Cubans, California has LA has Mexicans.
She went there.
I went there. Someone's gonna go there, and of course it's gonna be me. So, you know, what did you think of the show so far?
How can you not love it when you've got big egos, high pressure, millions of dollars? How can you not like it? And the three personalities are so distinctly different, and they complement each other nicely. I love it.
I love it too. You know, I mean, aside from it being in Miami and all that, it's just beautiful. Like,
seriously,
every property is oceanfront, or you know, it's just incredible. And every place has its own personality in addition to the personalities on the actual show.
Seriously.
And you know what's? I'm a big fan of this brand, the $1 Million Listing shows, and I do notice that they have a type, and they continue to cast based on like, okay, you fill the flamboyantly gay role. Yes. You fill the
handsome straight guy.
Like, we could do so many parallels here. Sam, the girl in the show, is a little bit different because on any of the shows there haven't been, except for, actually that's not true, on the LA show there was Josh Altman's now fiance, and unless they got married, I'm pretty sure
this is the first female agent, which is like huge.
Exactly.
She's gonna break that glass ceiling, hopefully.
Well, let's get right into it and start with her. In order of appearance, we have Sam.
Right.
Okay, so she's only been in the business 3 years, which is not a lot compared to the other guys on the show. She owns her own company. She sold $25 million in listings, and that's a big deal. Except though, when you think about it, really, what the houses go for in Miami, $25 million isn't necessarily that much, considering right now.
Come on, Sam, get with it.
Well, it's funny because it sounds like a lot,
right?
But then when she right now has a listing for what, $9 million, even though it's a little overpriced,
right?
If you think about it, if she sold
could make
three
that
of
happen
those,
a few.
Right. If she sold 3 of those, she'd be at $27 million. So maybe she's only sold 3 properties.
Yeah. One thing that stood out to me about Sam is she's got so much confidence. I mean, to be in this business for just a few years and then go, hey, I'm going to open my own business and I'm going to get this done. And her interaction with this Gil guy, who's one of the biggest developers in Miami, to take on that project and say, I'm going to sell this in 30 days and it's overpriced. That's confidence.
Well, I think that her confidence, where we see, you know, we hear a little bit more from her dynamic with Chad, is kind of going to bite her in the butt a little bit.
I think so.
Because she needs to be guiding her clients. So we see that she's talking to Gil. She said Dezer, but I thought it was Deezer, unless just in my circle we called him Gil.
I mean, this girl's from Miami, so I think she knows. But
well, and then we were watching the show. I'm like, I know him. Wait, how do I know him? I mean, I haven't been in I haven't lived there in 7 years, but like, I'm like, oh, he went to UM. I went to UM too.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and I'm like,
okay, so what is he really like?
You know what? Actually, I would say he probably represented himself well on camera.
Oh,
true to be who he is, which is extremely confident, gonna question you on what you're doing and saying, and he knows better than you because he's super successful in the business,
right?
In development. So I think where she sort of like failed at this maybe is that she didn't call him out and say, you know what, I don't think that this is going to sell for this. Instead, she priced it too high because she was afraid. And I think then she said 30 days. I'll sell it in 30 days.
Right. You could tell that she was intimidated by him. Totally. She came across as so starstruck when she was talking to him. She said that she had Google alerts of him. Who says that?
Okay, well, I've been known to say really embarrassing things like that. But like when you actually are selling yourself for a business, like get it first, geek out later.
Yeah, exactly. And Chad totally called her out on that. And that she kind of gave in to him.
Yeah.
So...
Well, and so now, okay, we have her with this 30-day deadline. She's a couple days already in. She's already forking up $25,000 for this Brokers Open, which was gorgeous.
Yes.
And I would say
crazy. That's like a wedding.
Right. That's bananas.
I know.
Bananas. But I would say out of all the properties, I think his was my favorite. Gil Desert's property.
Yeah, that was the one with the pool, right?
Yes, the pool, the 2
on
floors,
the deck,
yeah,
overlooking, yeah.
It's the size of a house. It's $2,200.
Yeah,
I mean 2,200 square feet. Sorry.
Right. Did you notice that Chad totally dissed the kitchen though?
Yeah. Okay. So when he was saying he's gonna tell it like it is, tell it like it is. But like, why? What's that gonna do? Okay. So you don't like the kitchen. What do you have a recommendation? Or are you just trashing the place? Because what's that gonna do? Do you think that they should then put money into fixing the kitchen prior to selling it, or lower the price? What are you getting at?
Well, he made it very clear that he thought that they should lower the price. But I think his whole tactic is to kind of intimidate her. Yeah. Even though he's pretending to play the big brother role, I really think that he's seeing her as an up-and-coming agent. Right. And so I think he's trying to intimidate her a little bit.
Okay. Well, we definitely...
That's my theory.
I'm excited to see, their dynamic a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting. Do we think that she's going to sell this apartment in that amount of time?
Oh man, that's tough. I think she can do it. I'm rooting for her. Being the first female agent, I really want to see her do well. So I think her confidence may pay off. What do you think?
I don't know, because we saw clips from like the future, and I feel like it would be a great story if she sells this property in that amount of time for a record-breaking price, whatever it is, and like it's a huge success. However, I think it would be a really big learning experience if she doesn't and she loses the listing, because she, first of all, partners with that girl, Rachel, who has no experience in actually selling anything.
I know.
She's a real estate agent with... She
just has contacts.
Right. Okay, and that's amazing, but then, like, get a fee for referring, I would say, versus co-listing.
She's not going to be helping too much.
No, and especially she's not even taking on the risk, and poor Sam had to fork up $25,000.
I know.
And it's her name, basically, that, like...
Her reputation.
Right. She has a boyfriend, Jeff.
Yes.
I wonder what's going to happen with that.
She seems like she wears the pants in that relationship.
She does. I wonder what he does, because they didn't say.
Yeah, they didn't. He's very pretty. He's
pretty.
A pretty boy.
The whole cast, actually, I would say, is pretty. And the people that everybody works with are pretty.
It's Miami.
It's so Miami.
I mean, would you expect anything else? Would you expect anything else from somebody from Miami?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I will say, though, Sam's spray tan.
Oh, we have to talk about that.
A little on the orange side.
She's almost LA with that spray tan. That was like, hold on. Because also, I mean, I don't know the timeline of when they film these things and when they film, like, them talking about what happened. But she went from normal color in one scene to like, ba-bam.
Yeah, we both noticed it. We're like, holy orange.
Right.
Wow.
And that's not vacation tan. That is spray tan.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So anyways, that's our only style technique, I think.
Well, also then when we saw she and Rachel went to meet Gil, it was a very Miami outfit that they both were wearing. With the like dress with the big heels and the big gaudy necklace. It's like.
So she fits right in.
Right. It's like you could be understated. You don't have to.
And she's actually the only one out of the three from Miami.
Right.
Which I think will help her.
I think it should help her, but those guys are kind of killing it.
I know.
We got to talk about them.
Okay, let's
talk about Chad. Okay.
The handsome one.
Chad, soup's hot.
Totes my goats.
Like, he's like the Ryan in the New York season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say he's the only straight one on the New York season, but that's not true. Apparently, Luis is also straight. I don't know that I agree, but it doesn't matter. So Ryan, Chad and Ryan, very similar, very confident, very attractive.
He seems to be the front runner. He seems to be the most successful so far.
He has sold $80 million in listings, and he wants to sell $160 million, which is doubling it this year.
Ambitious.
Very.
And successful.
And he works for that company, Douglas Ellisman?
Yes. So he does not own his own company.
No.
He works for, but he's I think the number one within the company.
And he's from Ohio. So he's he's a transplant. He's got a girlfriend also named Jen, like moi. If you want to send her off, I am gladly available.
You are? Okay. You hear that, Chad?
Hey, everybody.
It sounded like they could be getting engaged, though.
It did sound that way.
They were looking at $177,000 rings. What? That's a thing, apparently.
Call me.
You'll settle for like $100,000 ring, right?
A boyfriend. I don't know where to even start right now, but even
just a boyfriend,
right?
Change your Facebook status, and you're good.
Oh God. So yeah, all right. So we need to dive into this guy because he then decides he wants to like mentor, Sam, and I wonder if he's a little too big for his britches because now he's taking on even his own client who is a coworker who he's co-listing the house that she owns with him.
Yeah.
And they're butting heads.
Yeah, because it doesn't really seem like she works too much.
No, and like we saw that clip. Wait, also just to backtrack a quick sec, Sam's listing is in Sunny Isles, gorgeous area, waterfront, of course. Chad's listing is on Palm Island. That is like where the celebrities live.
So that's the place to be. So he's got
like Puff Daddy, like J-Lo when I think if she might even still have a house down there, like there's Star Island, Palm Island, these islands. Like, you get there by a tiny little bridge or a boat.
That's crazy. But surprisingly, they're only listing this for $3.995 compared to Sam's, which was at $9 million, correct?
Right. Okay, so now...
So where's the price difference there?
I don't necessarily know. Sam's, there's views... It's two stories.
I'm telling you, it's the pool.
Who doesn't want that pool for $9 million? Well, also it's overpriced, but... Neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Also, it just depends how many are available in the building at the time, what's happening in the surrounding areas. Sunny Isles, to me, is not where I would want to live because it's a little bit on the older front. But
you'd want to be with P. Diddy, right?
Probably, and I'd probably want to be in a house versus like a condo.
Yeah,
but
seriously, more room, and they still have the water view and
right.
And
but also
Gil's,
Sam's listing for Gil, it comes with all the furniture.
Oh, that's
so
big.
That's like a huge thing.
Ready to go.
Right. And so if we tack on, let's say, all right, the house on Palm Island is 4.2, but they lowered it to 3.995. If they were selling all the furniture inside of it, maybe that would tack on another $1 million or $2 million.
Maybe we should give them some advice and say, hey,
call us.
Buy some furniture.
Right.
That'll add on a few million.
And we need to talk about this house. There's a dance. Okay. It's owned by by Stacy, who is a colleague of Chad.
Right.
Who is not having any luck selling it.
Right, because she's off vacationing.
Right, she has every excuse.
Getting plastic surgery.
She's got children. But then the nanny is not available, and the whole thing. She's very busy, but not busy. So she's married to Eric. Eric owns clubs in Miami. They revealed. Well, I am from there, so I now know he owns Mansion, which I don't know if anybody's been to Miami.
Thing?
It's a huge venue in Miami. There's like Live, which is a huge venue in the Fontainebleau, and then there's Mansion, which is just bananas. It's so big, and they do like Cirque de Mansion, and they have like weird acts and performances, and like it's a huge venue of a place. It's almost like a place where you'd have concerts, but it's a club.
No wonder they're upgrading their home.
Wait, did they say they were upgrading?
Yes, they want to move into a even bigger home.
Oh, well, please don't put a dance floor in that one.
They have a dance floor in their living room. What?
I don't know, but the house to me, and I feel like sometimes in Miami you come across this where it's like an amazing property and an amazing view and an amazing pool, and then the house inside is kind of weird. If you saw, they were showing the rooms, the bathroom, the children's bedroom and bathroom. The children's bedroom was small.
Yeah.
And then the bathroom didn't look renovated in any way.
Dare we say it's a little outdated? I think so.
Yeah.
A teeny bit.
Which is why they're probably only selling it for...
Yeah.
And okay, so Palm Island, they said there was not a lot of inventory, which Eric, the husband of Stacy, mentioned. He's right, because you can jack up the price if there isn't a lot of inventory and somebody really wants to be on Palm Island. However, there's so much inventory in Florida and Miami specifically that it is a seller's market.
Buyer's market.
Sorry. I was like, wait, hold on. I make no sense. It's a buyer's market.
Right.
So, you know.
They can be choosy. They can go down the street and it's equally as beautiful.
So it makes sense to lower the price, and you don't want to overprice it and then not sell it, and then you lower it, and then everybody knows how long it's been on the market and they know they can take advantage. So it's a whole, like, it's a game of kind of like psychology, really.
It is a game. And how about Stacy canceling their party?
Okay, I feel bad when I even cancel on a friend for like just dinner.
I know.
Let alone where you've got now dancers coming, people invited, things to be set up, food, catering, drinks, the whole nine. And she's just like, I canceled it because the weather.
And it's Miami.
Right. Also, people are going to be inside. But to be fair, Miami, and I agreed with her when she said this, but it was crazy. She's like, you never know what the weather's like in Miami. And it's true, you really don't.
Does it rain a lot there?
It does. And it's like, it rains from the hours of like 4 to 6 where you like cannot drive or leave the house or anywhere. Like, it's like torrential downpour. It's like required nap time.
And she made a point that it is her house after all. So she does get to call it. But that is Chad's reputation. I mean, he said that he had billionaires coming to see it. And then she canceled.
Right. It's like not a small ordeal to just cancel that. You know, you just don't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So now we know a little bit of insight into who Stacy is. Mm-hmm. The dynamic of the office. We know there's Matt in the office. He's a social media director, and he likes to snap pictures of the meetings. Mm-hmm. Kind of cute.
Mm-hmm. All of them.
Yeah.
Yes,
then there's like other people in the office, attractive.
They're
So,
all eye candy.
Eye candy. Way to go, Miami. So
should we talk about Chris?
Yeah, we should talk about Chris. Okay, so we have the last but not least character, Chris.
He's the funny one.
I feel like he's gonna be my favorite.
He's hilarious.
So he's been in the business 20 years.
Long
he sounds
time.
like the most seasoned. I don't know that they said. Oh wait, they did say $34 million.
Yeah. So he's got the most history, not the most successful,
right?
But longest running.
Yes. Okay, so he's the flamboyant one. We'll just say that because like he's playing that role where like on every season.
He's playing it well. He's playing it up.
He is playing it well. He's very image focused. We see that he's like getting
lip injections. Yeah. He's gluten free,
right.
Taking baths.
There's all kinds of things happening there. So we see him. Okay, he's also from New York, and he's a transplant also. Mm-hmm. We see him on the beach talking to Sandy, another broker.
Right.
She is wearing a fur coat.
Also, Madame.
Okay, so Sandy represents Madame.
Yes.
And normally Sandy has Madame buy these big things called houses from Chris. But this one apartment, they didn't have like the connection where like it was bought through Chris. So now she's selling it, and he's like, I must have this listing.
Right.
I wasn't part of the purchase, but I'll be part of the sell.
It seemed like he could have been on the chopping block soon.
Well, it was that same, what are we pricing it at? What are we selling at? How many days are we selling it for? It was like that same runaround.
Yeah, because it seems like they don't have much patience. You get on their bad side once and you're out of here.
Right. And I mean, to be completely honest, it's a little bit of movie magic. I do think that it has to do with like raising the stakes a little bit. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it offers for like kind of wrapping up each of these properties, moving on to the next episode, and then it's like a new property and new issues and stuff. We don't actually know if any of these were sold, so that'll be interesting to see what happens with them.
Except for Chris, at the end there, we saw the Russian woman with the lease.
Yes. Right. Okay, so yes, let's talk about that. So Inga, the Russian broker, comes to, the open house and says to Chris, I have an offer for you, but it's $22,000 a month. And it's a lease. And he's like...
He almost fainted.
Yeah.
His reaction was priceless.
They were having lunch in Bal Harbour. The property they were also talking about was in Bal Harbour. It's the St. Regis, which is beyond gorge. The views we saw were, like, insane.
Yes.
The patios and everything. Mm-hmm. And Bal Harbour is just awesome. Like, there's, like, the Bal Harbour shops, and it's very ritzy. It's, like, the place to go and be and live and whatever. So, the beaches are amazing there. So he's like, why would you waste my time bringing me a lease? We're trying to sell this thing for however many millions. I forget. Oh, under 6. Just under 6.
I'm seeing if I have that. I don't.
Something,
right.
Yeah, I think it was
Around
under 6.
there.
Right. So he's like, whatever.
Because they agreed on 5.9.
Right.
It was like 5.8 originally, and then they had to up it to 5.9. They had to put 20% down and $22,000 per month. That's a lot of money.
I mean, bananas. That's a lot of money. I'll probably say that a million times just because we're talking about these kinds of numbers.
We're talking about millions and millions of dollars here.
Right. And I'm like, I don't know about these dollars, but
smart move. The 20% down. At first, I was like, there's no way. He's offended. How are they going to make this work? And then they came up with that genius idea of 20% down, because even if, let's say, the Russian woman, I'm forgetting what her name is, let's say that she walks away and doesn't buy it, then they can go sell it for the 5.8, and then they also have $1 million and the $22,000 for 6 months, so they're way ahead of what they wanted.
And so I think that was great because it solidified that, like, this woman was serious. She's not going to just rent and not buy and waste their time, and, like, you know, a lot goes into it when you're still owning an apartment and managing a tenant and the whole thing. Yeah. So I think that was smart. I can't believe that it worked out. They agreed to put the $1 million down. And I mean, yay, Chris. He's the only one actually that closed in this episode.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with that. I feel like we're going to revisit this. And I don't know. What if she doesn't like it?
Living there?
Yeah.
Well, what was it, a year?
I think it was 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
And I think that the $1 million is refundable. It's just a down payment. Because it goes in escrow, but I think that can come out of escrow. By the way, guys, I'm planning on taking my real estate license at some point in the next couple of months. So maybe I'll know more to talk about.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Do you want to sell $1 million homes?
And only because of this show.
Are you serious? That's awesome. So we are going to see you on the next $1 million listing in Los Angeles.
I hope so. Well, as you mentioned actually when we were watching this, that they're replacing one of the guy and adding in 2 guys that are British.
Really? I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
2 British men. I think they need to ditch one of the British guys and add a female.
Call me. Maybe by the time I actually get my license, one of them will be out, and
there you go. There you go.
Or maybe I'll weasel my way into whatever company they work for.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yay. Yes, deserved.
Thanks, guys.
Well deserved.
All right. So I think that we should move into some predictions about the season.
Okay. That sounds good.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ooh.
Right?
This is the first for me. I like it. Sounds official.
Let's start with you. What do you think is going to happen overall to specific people, whatever?
I think you're right about Sam, that she's going to have some lessons to learn. I don't want her to miss out on this deal, but I think you're right.
We see her walk into Sotheby's and try and get a job, so I feel like she's like not doing so hot on her own and realizes she needs some mentorship.
I'm really, really looking forward to seeing the dynamic between the 3 real estate agents, because we saw a little bit of that drama, a little bit of that friction between Chad and Sam especially. And then at the end, when they were, you know, promoting the next episode, we saw it a little bit with Chris. So I think there's gonna be some bickering. I'm looking forward to it.
You know, I feel like that's always gonna happen with like the newbie. She's gonna like be schooled by the older people that have been around the block, and like
let's
these
just
2
say
guys are pretty confident.
Woman.
Right.
How do you think that's gonna affect her being a woman? Do you think they'll take her as seriously?
I think that because that field in general is so
male dominated.
No, actually, I think that there's a lot of women in it now, and
just not $1 million.
No, you know what? Actually, I heard this, that more houses are sold by women because the man is buying it.
She would know. Future real estate agent here.
Hi. And I found that to be great news for myself. So I was like, oh, that makes sense.
That does make sense. Guys like beautiful women.
And smart women, too. Right. So, like, double, you know, she's pretty and she's smart. And I just think, though, that, like, she's up against these guys and they're right for saying that they're her competition, because I personally, if I were selling my house, I'd go with a seasoned person versus the person that's a newbie.
Well, they're more experienced.
Right. And when I say that, that doesn't mean potential clients one day should look at me as though I'm a newbie, because I will be extremely
because she's
good
been talking about $1 Million Listing for years.
Right. I study this show, so I clearly know about real estate, guys. Hello. And I watch HGTV. Anyway.
That's some kind of
That's knowledge.
Seriously.
Right. I learned vicariously through whatever's happening.
I'll back you up on that.
Thank you. You're the best. I think, okay, we're going to see a proposal, maybe 2.
Yes. I think there might be a forced one with Sam. Did you see how she was like throwing the ring?
She's like, you're going to propose to me this year, or like now.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Woman knows what she wants.
She does. And I think this is going to be a great season. What do you think?
I'm so looking forward to it.
I know. Okay, so where can everybody find you now that you are part of the AfterBuzz community? We need our fans to track you down and find you and tweet at us.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Alex Wehrley.
Spell it.
Yes.
Spell it.
Wehrley. That's Wehrley.
You got
You'll
that,
never
guys?
get it. You'll never get it.
I'll tweet her because I'll spell mine. You'll get it, and then you'll find her. We'll all find each other. And you can find me at Jen the Jew on Twitter and Instagram. My website, JeniferGolden.com. Facebook, Jenifer Golden, and I'm sure somewhere
There's got to be one more thing.
There's more. I don't know. Pinterest. You want to follow me?
AfterBuzzTV.com.
Yeah. You can find out about both of us on there. You know, just follow everybody.
Just Google us. Google Alert.
Yes. Google Alert, like Sam does on Gil Desert. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. It has been an amazing episode, and we cannot wait for the season and to see you next week.
See you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.